Haven't trimmed the beard since last year. Woo-hoo-wee! Now that is much better, I'd say. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're talking about something a lot of people like to do. Something I did, something that I have a very long pros and cons list about, and I'm sure you would benefit from listening to. If you are watching this video already, I'm sure you are debating whether you want to lower your car. If you guys are new to the channel, this is my 2013 Audi S5. I do videos with this car, with other cars, do rallies, things like that, product reviews. If you like cars and if you like hanging out, doing shenanigans, stay a while, hit subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're closing in on 10,000 subscribers, so that would mean a lot to me if we were able to hit that before my birthday. That'd be the best present ever. So let's do that. Hit that button, like the video. You guys know the deal by now, but I know why you guys clicked this video, so let's get into it. I don't want to waste too much of your time. So before you do, let's go into it. Let's kind of dive into the review of the pros, the cons, the looks, the differences, the changes, the things you need to change when you get them installed. Lowering springs, coilovers, anything that makes your car go like this. I lowered the car obviously because it looks sick. Unless you're tracking your car or actually like performance wise you want to upgrade the handling, things like that. I lowered the car mostly for the aesthetic purpose, the fitment, if that makes sense. I know a lot of people do for the same reason, so I know I'm not the only one. If you are looking to lower the car, obviously that's something to keep in mind. It's going to look a little more flush, a little more low. Get that fitment right, you know what I'm saying? Before I had my springs put on, I was on 19-inch wheels. The ride height was looking a little wonky. I can throw up a picture on the screen of what it looked like before and then what it looked like after. So obviously the cosmetic difference, the aesthetic difference, I'm not sure what word to use for that, but you know what I'm talking about, is quite substantial. I love the look of the car when it's wide and low, so that is kind of what I went for. It's not too much. I'm not a stancy boy, but we do have a much better look from the rear and from the sides, in my opinion. That's one of the biggest things that I did the drop for. So personally, I have H&R Sport lowering springs on the car. I believe H&R also has a Super Sport option, which are a bit lower. I can throw up on the screen what H&R claims those drops are for the Sport and Super Sport respectively. So it's quite a big difference, over an inch and a half in some cases. So paired with the lowering springs, I also in the same week got spacers installed on all four corners. So in the rear, I have 25mm spacers, which are H&R, and then on the front are 20mm spacers, and they are ECS. So those again further enhance the performance, technically making your car wider and lower. I don't track this car, I'll be honest. I don't have any intention on racing this car around, but as far as again the cosmetic and aesthetic differences, it was an upgrade I was willing to spend the money on. Now there are of course some negatives that you need to factor in when you're deciding on whether you want to lower your car with springs or not. The first obviously being ride height and the adjustment you need to make in your everyday driving not to lose your lip or bumper. So if you have like a steep driveway lip on the end and you go over it every day and you're already close, it's something you need to measure for and something you need to take into consideration before you lower the car. Or if you daily your car and you know your workplace has some sort of lip or elevated surface that you need to get up on, parking garages, speed bumps, things like that are all things to consider because you need to change the way you take those and the way you drive. This might sound stupid and obvious, but a lot of people don't know this. If you take the bump on an angle, it actually helps out your clearance rather than taking it straight on or straight back. So driving at an angle when you're going over things like speed bumps or driveway lips are going to prevent or further prevent damage to the lip or bumper. I wouldn't say prevent, I would say minimize the likelihood of it happening. The other major con, pro or con, I guess depending on how you look at it, is the ride feel, the ride comfort, and the ride quality. The H&R Sport springs stiffen the suspension quite a bit, and when you're driving in everyday traffic, it does get to be a little much when you're going over things like potholes and bumpy roads. I live in Michigan, and Michigan is notorious for having kind of trash roads, especially in the winter when things harden up. You know, you got bumps, you got highway driving, you got potholes, things like that. You feel every little bit of the road. I wish I could demonstrate that in a video for you. Unfortunately, I can't, but what I can do is kind of do a little POV drive. I hope I can relay that. Again, unfortunately, I can't have everybody sit in my car that's thinking about lowering their car, but we can do the best in this video. I hope it's helpful to ya. So let's talk a bit about cost, because that's obviously something that a lot of people factor in before they mod their car or before they do the install and things like that. So the sport lowering springs themselves from H&R cost about $250 to $270, depending on where you get them and what time of year it is, what sale you get. So anywhere between, I'd say relative range like $250 and $300. I understand not everybody's gonna have the exact same car as me, so I believe the ones I got for my BMW were like $230, which I think I have for sale. So if anybody has a E90 with X-Drive and wants to buy some springs, I got you. Now keep in mind, I did not buy the springs separately. I went to my tuner, my mechanic, and went through him. He got the parts at cost and then obviously charged labor to install them. So between these springs, the spacers, and time it took to install as far as labor and things like that, I believe the total was $1,200. I have a picture of it somewhere, so I'll double check and put the exact amount on the screen right now. Now I also did get some stickers. That's upside down, some stickers. I don't know where to put these on my car, but that's a different story. I have, if you can see, the stickers right there for M22 Detailing and AG products that I proudly represent. I don't know where this would look good on my car. I got 2 stickers, and then I also have an ECS tuning sticker. So to kind of recap the video and go over some major takeaways I want you to learn from this, in my experience, obviously, aesthetically and cosmetically, it makes the car look phenomenal. You got to do your research on your fitment, the offset of your wheels and whatnot before you go ahead and pull the trigger. Make sure there's no rubbing, things like that. I do not have my fenders rolled or anything like that. I don't need it. I've never, rubbed on the setup that I have. But I would just do your research beforehand. That's just kind of the quick disclosure. The ride height will drop depending on what springs you get. So obviously the sport springs, the super sport springs, or if you go with another company, I'm not sure what they call them, but do your research. So make sure to measure correctly. You don't want to install them and then not have a car that you can drive. So the ride comfort and ride feel are obviously something that'll change a bit. It stiffens it up. I drink coffee on my way into work when I was working in the office, and I'll tell you straight up, it was very difficult to do so. I oftentimes found myself really spilling all over the place, so I would just get to the parking garage, finish my coffee, and then walk into work. But if you are like me, you drink coffee in the car, it's something to consider. I'll be honest, it's just kind of a candid explanation and review of the product and everything that comes along with it. So obviously the ride comfort and the stiffness is something to consider. Adjust the way you drive as necessary. If you find on a daily basis you're running into things like steeper driveway lips or speed bumps, take them slow. It's better to be the slow guy in traffic and have somebody honk behind you than rip your entire bumper off. So just all things to consider. I hope this video was helpful to you. If I impacted one person, then my goal has been accomplished. If you guys are new to the channel, again, make sure to hit subscribe and like the video. It really helps out the algorithm and whatnot as we get back into uploading more consistently this year. Enjoy the start to your 2022. Comment if you have any questions. I look at all my comments. And until next time, guys, we'll see ya.